Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today I just want to say thank you all so much for 200 subscribers. It's that's a lot of people. I don't think I couldn't have made it here without you guys, and I didn't expect to get here for like another 2 months or ever when I first started making videos. But thank you all. I hope you continue to enjoy my channel and watching it. But anyway, today's what if is what if Bardock was sent to the future, part 0.5. Yes, 0.5, because this part is mainly there to set up what happens to set the story in its place. Now, before we get into the actual what if, I do want to address a few things. Number one, I uploaded a week later than usual because I left my phone on the bus this week, and the video was supposed to be up that week. So that's kind of why it came out last week instead of the week before. Number two, my idea for this what if sparked a few months ago, but I kind of just left it there. But after Ultimate ADJ, or Ultimate Edge, made his rendition of it, it sparked my attention, and I wanted to make my version, which is actually very different from his. So be sure to go watch Ultimate's video. The link's in the description, and subscribe to him. He makes similar content to me. And one final thing before we get into today's topic, I want you all to join my Discord and follow me on my new Twitter. The links will be in the description. The reason I want you to do this is so you can vote on the polls that I'm going to have on Twitter and that I usually have on Discord. So that way you can vote on what content I make next, what videos are uploaded, when they're uploaded, and stuff like that. So yeah, the links for both are in the description. And without further ado, join my Discord, follow me on Twitter, and let's get into today's topic. So I know this question will come up at some point, so I planned ahead and decided to answer it right here. Which Bardock is this? Is this the original Bardock who was cold, or the newer Bardock who was caring to his family? I want to tell you that this Bardock is the one from Dragon Ball Super Broly. But a lot of the events that happened to the original Bardock would be happening here for the purpose of the what if. Bardock will be on planet Kanasa with his crew fighting until only one is left, who hits Bardock with all of his power, causing him to have the burden of seeing his destruction. He gets a glimpse of Frieza preparing to destroy planet Vegeta and is brought back to his planet to heal. This Bardock will have a power level of just under 10,000 just to keep things consistent, as we don't know Dragon Ball Super Broly's Bardock's power level, so we will go with the original Bardock. While he is healing, he sees a fully grown Kakarot. This Kakarot has some sort of destiny, but he can't yet see what the destiny is. All he knows is that it is important. Bardock, after healing, goes to his wife Gine and tells her about his vision of both Frieza and Kakarot, explaining that the only way to keep their son safe is to send him to Earth, which has a low power level reading for the most part. Bardock looks at Kakarot before he sends him away and places his hand on the pod. "He's the one, Gine. I know it," he says before the young Saiyan is sent off planet. Bardock is then told that his crew left on a mission without him, and he hugs Gine before heading off toward the planet they were sent to. By the time he gets there, however, the only person he finds alive is Tora, who tries to tell Bardock in his dying words that Dodoria set them up before dying in his arms. Bardock takes Tora's bandana and soaks it in his blood, putting it on his head and confronting the elites, whom he barely manages to defeat. Real quick, I want to note that this Bardock will be having the same style of clothing that his original Bardock counterpart did. Bardock races back to planet Vegeta, patching himself up on the way there. He gets more glimpses of Frieza and Kakarot, and goes to find a room full of Saiyans, whom he warns of Frieza's intentions. Although, in the original, the Saiyans laugh at Bardock, in the Broly movie we see some soldiers wearing armor behind Bardock in space when he's rebelling against Frieza, who could be Saiyans, which would actually make sense as there are Saiyans on the ground on planet Vegeta who know that Frieza is attacking and they're all just looking up. So you could say there might have been a Saiyan in the room who only cared for the safety of the Saiyans and thought that if there were even a chance of Frieza attacking, he wouldn't stand for it. and seeing two Saiyans think this would likely convince a few more. Or you could say the soldiers were just Frieza soldiers, in which case, no convinced Saiyans. But either way. Regardless, Bardock at this point, after having a Zenkai from the Kanasan and from Dodoria's elites, should have a power level of roughly 15,000. He's then hit by Frieza's supernova and dies along with Planet Vegeta. Or so he thought. Bardock wakes up on a small island with a house and a few people. Now before you ask how he goes to Earth, I know it doesn't necessarily make sense, but if he went to where Planet Vegeta is, he would just be in space and die, because there is no Planet Vegeta. Anyway, he is extremely dizzy and can barely stand, but then he sees Kakarot. His face goes blank, and he stares at his grown son. Bulma rubs her eyes and asks if she's seeing double. "Goku, are you using the multiform technique?" Krillin says. No, but this guy does kinda look like me," Goku says as he waves his hand in Bardock's face. Bardock grabs him by the arm and stands up, looking him in the eye. "Kakarot? Kakarot? What's that, some kind of food?" Goku says. Back. Bardock slowly starts to fall. "It's you," he says before he collapses. Goku is confused but decides to grab Bardock and fly him toward Korin's tower to get him a Senzu Bean so he can explain more. But after he gets the Senzu Bean, Raditz arrives on the tower. Raditz lands exclaiming how much power Kakarot had before realizing that his father was there and going silent. This power was not Goku's, but Bardock's. If we go with our previous 15,000 and give Bardock a third times increase from getting hit by the supernova, his power rises to about 20,000, which is slightly stronger than even Vegeta, who currently has a power level of 18,000. This makes Raditz shudder, and he whispers 20,000 under his breath. Nappa hears this and tells Vegeta, who says Raditz must have gotten stuck with the older model Scouter, because there was no way anyone was stronger than him. Raditz pretends not to hear Vegeta and focuses in on his father, asking where he has been all this time. Bardock explains everything he remembers up to the point where he thought he died, and saw Kakarot and Frieza confront each other. He just got here, and has no idea how. Bardock then asks how old Goku is, to which Goku replies either 24 or 25, depending on whether we're following the anime or the manga. Real quick, let's try and find Bardock's age, actually. So we know Raditz was around the same age as Vegeta in the Broly movie, based off their height. And we see Vegeta as a baby 5 years before we see Kakarot. Kakarot is roughly 3 at the time of being sent to Earth, so we can assume Raditz is about 8. Goku had his first kid when he is either 20 or 21, again depending on the anime or the manga. We can use this to say that Bardock may have had a kid at 20, which would mean since Raditz is roughly 8 when we see him, Bardock is only 28, since he's just being sent forward in time. In case you didn't know, Dragon Ball up until the Raditz saga is about a 21-year time span. So that means Raditz is about 29, which makes him currently older than Bardock. Weird, I know, but alright then. When Raditz tells them that he came to Earth to collect Kakarot to invade a planet, Bardock tells him that Kakarot is not going anywhere. He has a destiny to defeat Frieza, and if he goes out in space, he could die. "I'll train him myself if I have to." The Saiyan looks at his eldest son and tells him that if he has to leave, to do it. Raditz says goodbye to his family and walks toward his pod, telling Vegeta that he couldn't get Kakarot or his father to join him. Vegeta replies that he's a failure, and he didn't even try to threaten them. Raditz tells them that Bardock had a power level higher than Vegeta's, and there was no way he'd win, but Vegeta just tells him he might as well stay on Earth. The prince is intrigued to know if Raditz was lying about his father or not, and if he was, then he'll just kill everyone there, including him. He tells Raditz that he and Nappa are on their way there and should be there in a year before turning off the Scouter. Raditz freezes for a minute and realizes that now he's all alone. But then he smirks and crushes the Scouter under his boot, returning to his father and his brother to train. The Saiyans are introduced to Goku's family, and despite Goku telling them his current name, the two still prefer to call him Kakarot, as that's what they know him as. The humans are set to train on Kami's lookout, but Kami sees that Piccolo has no training partner and contacts him, telling him that the Saiyans are really powerful and that he should train with the other Z fighters to gain enough strength to be able to combat the Saiyans. Piccolo is furious that Kami would dare ask for him to train with Goku's family, let alone just Goku. When Kami sees that Piccolo won't give in, he just tells Piccolo that if he doesn't, he'll end his own life, killing the both of them. Piccolo grunts in anger and frustration, and decided to bite the bullet, going off to train with Goku and his family for the sake of protecting Earth, so he could later control it. Goku is shocked that Piccolo is doing this, but welcomes him since he is the perfect balance between a powerful fighter and a skilled fighter. Bardock and Raditz meet Goku's wife and son, Gohan, and Bardock immediately proposes Gohan train with them as he can sense his potential and he would be a great help against the Saiyans. But Chi-Chi screams that he would do nothing of the sort, which leaves Bardock to find out why he thinks Kakarot married her. Speaking of marriage, when Goku explains the idea of the Dragon Balls to Bardock, he immediately suggests they revive his mother Gine, which they do so by collecting all the balls in one place and wishing to bring Gine back to life and to Earth. Gine is brought back and the Saiyan hugs her. She tells him how much she missed him as she never saw him in heaven. Bardock explains what he can, and the two are happy to see each other. I do see Bardock trying to at least get Gohan a nice enough power level to defend himself, even though Chi-Chi and Gohan wouldn't like it. Gohan would understand the importance of being able to defend himself, and well, Chi-Chi wouldn't know. I do think, since the humans get done with Kami training early and have about a month to train by themselves in the original, they would all, minus Yajirobe, train with Goku, Bardock, Raditz, and Piccolo. So now, let's talk power. Bardock is going to get the smallest boost out of everyone due to having so many weaker partners, but other than that, everyone is pretty decked out for the fight against the Saiyans. Chiaotzu is a 700, Yajirobe isn't changing because he isn't doing anything extra, and he's at a 970, Yamcha's at a 1600, Krillin's at a 1900, and Tenshinhan's at a 2000. So all the humans are a little bit higher for the most part. Now, Piccolo, after training with Goku, Bardock, and Raditz, is at a power level of 5100. Goku is at a power level of 6240. Raditz is at one of 7500, just barely over Kakarot. And Bardock is at an astonishing 50,000, which is 2.5 times what he was after he healed. And so now the gang is fully prepared for the fight against the Saiyans, which we'll cover in part 1. So yeah, everyone, thank you for watching this half part that just sets up the actual first part. That should come out in next month or maybe the month after that, depending on how well this one does. But as always, tell me if you enjoyed. Tell me what you think will happen next time. Comment your requests for future videos, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.